All right, we'll do a quick little intro. Casual. I'm not the press, so I don't have. I'm not metal injection, but
Oh, thank God.
yeah,
Or blabbermouth.
yeah, none of those. We're good. They take from me sometimes, but it's not even on purpose. So,
Yeah.
all right. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the RRBG podcast. I am Eddie Torres, and I am being joined by a legend and legendess. I don't know how you say legend in female form, but please welcome Dave and Paula Lombardo of Venamoris. Did I say that right?
Perfect. Yep.
All right. Welcome
And
to the
you added
show.
you add a little tinge of Latino in there.
I'm Cuban, man. I've been trying to
Get
get you
the
on the
fuck outta
show
here.
forever.
I'm gonna leave. You guys talk amongst
Yeah.
yourselves.
No. No, yeah, I've actually been hounding some of your peoples for years. I'm like, I'm Cuban and metal. We need to talk. It just needs to happen. But no,
So is
welcome.
it the first time?
First time we've talked. Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah. Welcome to the show. I was actually just talking about both of you with a friend, a mutual friend, Dave Whitty of Municipal Waste.
Oh, I love that dude.
Yeah, we were hanging out in his bus. They played LA not too long ago and got to hang out. They were opening for Carrie. And yeah, it was it's a sad time because he's had some family issues, but either way, we cheers to you. I told him that we were talking. Venamoris is out. Well, it's not completely out yet. Not the whole thing. You have a few songs. I think you have like 4 songs right now.
Songs, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the name Venamoris. Where does that come from?
Well, it comes from the word vena amoris, which is the vein of love, which goes from your ring finger to your heart. Supposedly, there's supposed to be a vein. I don't know if it's true or not, but it was an interesting, name. We didn't like the 2 words. We decided to run them together. And, we decided to use it, and I felt it was appropriate. It had a nice, ring to it. And it just felt right.
No, it sounds great. And I didn't know about that. Makes sense with the marriage thing, with the ring finger thing going to your heart. I didn't know. I had never heard that before.
Yeah, neither did I. And I don't know how we stumbled across it.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I think it's a book that I had that was like old language, like some of the old language that you can just,
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember what it was called,
Yeah.
but we had a few names, but that one stood out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Paula, your name, Paula, if you say it with the right, like you said, this is Paula.
Paula.
Is it Spanish? I mean, you're Canadian, but do you have any Spanish or Latin heritage?
I don't.
No.
Don't. Just guilty by association. That's it.
Okay. Paula Lombardo sounds Cuban as hell. Like,
I know, I like
Yeah,
it.
it does, doesn't it? Paulita.
Paulita.
Paulita. Oye, Paulita.
Oh my goodness. I wanted to ask you, when it comes to writing this type of music, do you find it like the years of playing thrash metal, has that been a hindrance in any way, or was it like beneficial for you when trying to come up with, like, did you find yourself at any point going, I need to do a blast beat here?
You do have recordings.
No, I actually, I do have to tell myself, leave space. I have to pay respect to the vocals. I can't go and play with a singer-songwriter and expect to do all kinds of drum rolls. They'll fire me on the spot. I've done that with more, let's say, for example, the Misfits. If I add just a little too much, Glenn tells me, Dave, pull it back, and so you really, being a drummer, you have to know when not to play. You really have to know when to let the other instruments shine. Let's say in a guitar lead, you have to know not to play in that space, or when the vocals, there's a place. And I think it's up to the drummer to really know how to, create that space for the artist to shine.
Yeah, unless you're in like a very proggy band. In that case, everybody plays as fast as possible.
Yeah, yeah, and it's complicated, and it's like, oh boy, that doesn't that I don't know. Everybody has their taste and their style, you know. But for this, I felt that the vocals are what needs to shine.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the vocals, Paula, you've been singing for a very long time. You also wrote all the music on the album. Uh, so have you been in other bands before, you know, aside from the where you got started, like in between, have you had other projects that you've done, or is this the first time you've done like a full-fledged writing project like that?
This is my first time. I haven't had any other bands or anything like that. I just worked in Vegas for many years as a backup singer, and then I moved to Nashville to pursue singer-songwriter, uh, just mostly songwriting, honestly. And I just didn't feel it wasn't the right fit for me, and I didn't feel it just didn't feel comfortable. And so yeah, this is my first go around with a project, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was unexpected. You know, Dave and I were together for 10 years before this ever took shape. So very unexpected. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Now,
Yeah.
are you guys still in Nashville? You're not in Nashville.
Oh no, we're in California.
Okay. Oh, we should have done this in person. What are we doing?
Yeah, un cafecito.
Cafecito. I got cafecito right here, actually.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm drinking them. Yeah, I was just recently in Nashville, and man, that town is not for me.
Yeah, and it's changed a lot since I've been there. You know, so
It's
I wouldn't
wild.
even recognize it. But yeah,
It's
different.
wild. It's a bunch of bars named after musicians that aren't really involved with it at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, they've gotten rid of a lot of the good stuff. Let's just say that. You know, kind of like Vegas, they got rid of all the great hotels, the
Oh,
nostalgia to bring in. I don't know what that is, but it's changed.
were you? I saw some comparisons. They sent me over the you know the press release and everything, and they compared your vocal styles to like a Chelsea Wolfe type of thing like that. And I don't really hear that as much. Like Chelsea Wolfe makes me sad. This didn't
Yeah.
make me sad. This made me feel like I don't know, kind of carnal passion. It's dark. Don't get me wrong. It's dark,
Yeah.
but I'm also kind of a dark person, so it kind of played with some different emotions to me than like a Chelsea Wolfe or like a King Woman, where they sound more depressed and you sound more like you have a purpose.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I feel like it's just a journey. You know, I feel like what I'm writing is a journey. I'm going every time I write something, there's something very specific happening. For this particular album, it was just after pandemic and Dave was going on tour with Testament. We hadn't been apart, you know, for however 2 years, I guess.
2 years.
And prior to that, I was very comfortable with that time alone. And this time it hit a little different. And it wasn't a short tour. You know, Testament goes out and they're road dogs. They're out there for like 6 weeks at a time. So it just was a little different, and I was a bit more introspective. But I feel like I was working through a lot of emotions, and then sort of healing myself in the process. You know, just acknowledging certain things and just head on acknowledging it. So I call it pain to paper, and just getting it out, and then hopefully coming out on the other side better for it. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was a dark time, but you know,
Yeah.
a lot of times we think about the pandemic, and obviously it was a terrible situation all around, but I get inspired and happy to hear when people are like, "Oh, yeah, I wrote this during the pandemic." And like,
Yeah.
well, it obviously, you know, it's motivated a lot of people to get out and do something, or let their voice be heard. And you know, it makes me happy to see that that's flourishing now at this point. There's a lot of albums coming out now that were started writing in that period and are now just coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was really interesting because we were wrapping up the artwork for the first album, and I was on tour with Testament. I remember I was in Europe, and my phone was dinging, and here were songs coming in. It's like, wow, we haven't even finished the first one, and she's already writing the second one. So that's what you're hearing now is what she was sending me during that period. And it was awesome because I was then able to play hardcore music and then go into my bunk and listen to her voice and piano just stripped down to just vocal and piano. And then my imagination and my creativity started kicking in. And it's like, okay, I already hear the drum beat for this. I can hear this song. Drums aren't necessary, like with Stay With Me, the first song. And so they started developing. And as soon as I got home, all right, let's go upstairs. Go upstairs in the studio, boom, start, laying down tracks. And
Nerds, you get home from tour and you want to go upstairs, it's for other things, No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that too.
Oh, hey.
That too.
We're giving you the cleaned up version.
Oh, gotcha.
We don't want to tell you how we really record.
No. I mean, there was, who is that? Aphex Twin did a whole album with just noises from lovemaking, I think it was, or something like that.
Oh, wow.
It was like a drum and bass album.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, all the percussions was, the sounds.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
The headboard.
That's awesome, though. That's really great to hear. I mean, speaking of that, touring and everything, do you guys plan on doing some shows?
Not right now, anyway.
I saw Dave's like,
yeah, he's always ready to go on tour. Dave, honestly, he thrives on stage. He loves it. And I'm a little hesitant, so we have to get past that. But also, we really want to present the music correctly if we ever do that. And I don't think we want to go out with tracks, and Dave on drums and me singing and then tracks. It doesn't feel right for this. That works for some people, but I just don't feel like that's correct. And so it would be very expensive to pull together what we actually envision. And so, time will tell, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, we would need an orchestra. I mean, I would want 2 cellos, a viola, a violin, guitar, bass, get piano, synthesizer. You can imagine, and not a choir, but at least 2 or 3 backup singers.
Yeah.
To do the harmonies.
Dave has already staged this over dinner with cups.
Yeah.
And shown me, like, this is how it's going to go.
You're standing here, I'm right here, we do this, But, in time, what the beauty of this project is that we have an amazing record company that will allow us to be as creative as we want to be and as free as we want to be with our music. And there's no pressure, which is great. There's absolutely no pressure. And so, like Paula said, time will tell. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, not to call you un viejito, but like you've been around for a while,
Yeah. Un viejito.
Un viejito. I call
hang
myself.
Up on him? What did he say?
I call myself viejito all the time. I'm like, I'm old as shit, and I'm not. I'm not really. I know that, but you've been around the scene for years, and I was curious what your thoughts are on like the way the music industry is now, and labels, and the way that they handle bands and artists. What big major difference do you see? Do you think it's better now that we could just put out whatever we want on a Bandcamp or something like that? Or do you miss the days of when labels would be like, here's a ton of money and you guys go be rock stars? Like, it's not like that anymore. Here's a ton
of money and you can't pay it back, because the deal is so flipped. What I enjoy, okay, we all know the negative part of it, obviously the change we've had to witness. But hey, that's evolution, that's life. We're going to be viejitos if we start complaining about it. It's like, it's like, oh, back in my day, this and that. It's like, no, you have to go with the flow, and I think there's a lot of advantages in today's industry. One, you could put music out. Anybody could put music out, and anybody could record it at home, like we're doing. And there are just so many advantages. The research that you can do online, to clear up any questions, if you have an idea, if you have a problem, all those are brilliant advantages. And I think we should embrace those and use them to our benefit. I think also if we sit around and complain about things, you really missing the point. You've been given all these great tools, and I think it's just better for us all around. Yes, I can go down the path of complaining, and nitpick all these little things, but man, I don't view life that way. I try to, if something's holding you back, if you fall, get up, brush yourself off, keep moving forward. If something happens, fuck, that hurt. Well, let's go. Come on. So that's just my personality.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people from your age group, my age group, we grew up a little more in that sense of like dust yourself off and get back on the horse, or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, nowadays, like the TikTokers are just like, oh no, it's raining outside. Guess I'm not working today. Like, oh man, I'm having a hard time with that. What you mentioned, which is not complaining. I'm having a hard time with that and the whole AI thing because I see it's dangerous that we could potentially put artists out of work with this, but I do also kind of see how it could be useful in certain ways, not to create music, but for like the social media aspect or the promoting aspect of it. Like, hey, can you put together a plan for me to market this album on AI? Like, I could see that being beneficial, but what are your thoughts on people creating music using AI, which I think is it makes me feel dirty inside.
I agree.
Actually, I like to see AI perform it live.
There's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the human element. The feeling of having a Marshall stack being played in front of you and some subwoofer and low end from a drummer on a real drum set. There's nothing like that. It could be possible that people will forget, something will come in and take its place and people will forget what that feels like, but hopefully not. That aspect, live music is, I think people need that. People need to get out and see and experience that, a live performance. So I don't see that going away. And AI definitely can't replace that.
No, definitely not. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like that feeling you get when your shirt is shaking from the bass.
Yeah.
The bass drum, like,
yeah.
Ooh, you feel the music. I had a terrible like breakdown during the pandemic because I saw one of the I think it was Tesseract doing a live stream, and it was just them in a room playing, and I was like, this is the worst fucking shit in the world. Like I can't if I can never ever go to a concert again, and this is the future, I'm out. Like I'm done.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like I need to feel like I was at the as soon as I could get out to a show that the government was like, okay, you can go outside. I was like, I'm going to go see. I think it was Between the Buried and Me. I saw they were the first band I could buy a ticket for, and it was just weird seeing. It was still at the time when people were still kind of spread out in the pit.
Yeah.
They weren't real, and there was still a pit, but it was very like, hey, keep you at a distance. But I immediately just like I'm not even like I love Between the Buried and Me, great guys, but I'm not gonna cry over their music just at home. But I cried at the show because I'm like, oh, thank God, like it's not over yet. We can still do this,
Yeah, we did Mr. Bungle did one of those online shows.
That was awesome. I loved that one. I watched that one. Yeah, because it was a mix of comedy and craziness going on. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. But there's nothing like being on stage. That was in a studio. There's nothing like being on stage and feeling the human interaction.
Yeah. So, I watched that stream, and then I watched you guys come here and play as well with Mr. Bungle. That was fun. And there's no comparison to the live show aspect of it.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off when I go to shows here in LA because a lot of the people here don't move as much as other cities. Everybody's too cool for school to kind of move around. But I'm like, wake up, move around. This is like, you never know. What if this goes away again?
You
never know. Yeah.
So on this album, I saw you guys have some friends on there, some special guests. I'm going to list them off here. Trevor Dunn, who's a friend of the show. I recently talked to him not too long ago. Him and Buzzo, they were doing a duo thing.
That was great.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. So he did contrabass.
Yes.
On Stay With Me.
Yeah, and bass guitar, contrabass, and yeah.
So I'm gonna seem like a poser right now because I was in bands. I love music. What's a contrabass?
I think it's a little bigger than a cello.
Okay.
So it's bigger than a cello, and it's obviously a lower register. So he laid that down.
Is it like the stand-up bass?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but he played it with a bow.
Okay. Yeah, he was playing with something like that with Buzzo as well. No Net Tour. Yeah.
Actually, what you saw there is probably his contrabass.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it was like we did it in the back of Alex's bar in Long Beach, and the contrabass actually was like pressing up against me the whole interview. We had no room. It was just kind of a tight quarters.
Yeah. That was great shit.
How do you tour with that thing, you know?
Yeah.
I'd be terrified of breaking it.
Yeah.
Other people, Ra Diaz, he's from Suicidal Tendencies, also famously Korn. I've had some good times with Ra. I miss him. I haven't seen him in a while, but it's good to see him on the Stain of Pain. You had Alex Skolnick on Stain of Pain as well, and Burnt Paper.
Yep.
And Gary Holt. Now, are these just like, you don't have to pay these people? You know all these guys.
Yeah.
No,
they refuse to take money.
Okay.
They're very kind, and I just have them. I asked them. I said, "Hey, this song, has your name on it. Just for some reason, I feel that." Like, for example, Gary, obviously on a Scorpion song, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Alex Skolnick on Stain of Pain and Burnt Paper, it's great. I mean, and of course Ra Diaz and Trevor. These guys I've known for years, and it was a no-brainer when it came to choosing these musicians, because I know that they're that they like stepping out of the norm. They like stepping out of the box, and doing different things.
Yeah, for sure. Paula, did you have any kind of like fantasy booking where you were like, I want to work with this person? Is there any other musicians that that aren't Dave's friends that you wanted to bring?
No, honestly, I just in writing the music, I just write what I feel, and then when Dave is helping me structure the songs, he always just has a name like, hey, I think we should do this. And I'm always a little hesitant because, they are Dave's friends and they're my friends too now, thankfully. But I'm just honored, that they want to be a part of this, and I'm still in shock that this guy is working with me. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy for me to have any of these names affiliated with this project and with me at all. So I'm just thrilled and honored, and always open to Dave's suggestions. So
let me put you on the spot real quick. Just think of one though. Like, what's one person you like next album? Who would you want featuring for you? Lil Yachty or one of the 2 Chainz? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott.
I'll take Missy Elliott right now.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I just feel so content with how everything is. I would just be honored with anybody. Now, I will say, this will probably catch you off guard, not really. But I mean, it's an honor to be on Mike Patton's label. And all of my songs are very vocal driven, a lot of harmonies and stuff. So if he would just like ooh and ah in the background or sing a lead and I'll be the background on just even 2 seconds, I think that would be awesome. And we could even bury it, just to know that he did it.
And he could go under a different name, maybe totally. Like Vlad Drak or something.
Like something crazy. And I think that would be an honor because he's just one of the best vocalists in my opinion. So that'd be pretty cool.
That is, yeah. He is a major influence on me vocally. I was in a band for 10 years, and the first band thing that I did was probably a ripoff of bungle, and I had keyboards and weird sounds, and I kept doing like different.
Yeah, he's very inspiring. It's kind of, Dave surrounds himself with so many musicians and vocalists and artists that are just fearless, and they just really have taught me just by watching, taught me this new approach to get out of my own way and just have fun with it again. And so, yeah, specific to Patton, all the stuff that Dave has introduced to me out of his catalog has just been mind blowing. Like Phantomas, my God, it's just insane what he can do with his voice.
Yeah, I was surprised during my talk with Buzz that he mentioned that Phantomas I thought was just kind of experimental and on the fly, and apparently every note is like to the T written down.
Everything is crazy. Written. When he presented me with the demo, I heard it. I'm like, why do you need me to perform this? Why do you want me to record this? Because that was initially, because it's like he wants to record it, for his record label, and all this. This is back in '98, and he told me, he goes, because I want to perform this live. He needs musicians to perform it live. But the demo sounds as good as the actual recording that we did.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get the wanting to have the music. It's never the same. I've tried solo projects. It's not the same. It's cool to have someone there, especially someone of your talent, Let me see. I also wanted to. This is dumb. I have a dumb thing here.
Uh-oh.
Have you ever considered doing a Spanish project? And I already have a nickname, Thrash Poppy, for you.
Oh.
Thrash Poppy.
Okay. I'm definitely doing backup vocals on that one.
Have you thought of doing a Spanish, or have you done it and I don't know about it? A Spanish project.
There was something that was put together a while ago with several Latin musicians, but it didn't go anywhere. There was no direction or leader. I'm into it. I just don't know how to put something like that together, or
you got to get a button up shirt open, a chain, Cuban link.
Yeah,
we have a picture like that.
There's a picture out there of me like that. Con el tabaco.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well, I keep bringing this up, but I've been and I want to talk more about Venamoris, but I wanted to ask you, growing up, Cuban, how Cuban are you? Like, are we talking like family? Arroz con frijoles, chancletas. Like, how Cuban do you get?
I am. My parents, I came to this country when I was 2 years old.
Oh, wow. So you were born in Cuba?
Pardon me?
So you were born in Cuba?
I was born, yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And my brothers were sent over to America prior, like 5 years before we landed in the U.S. On the Peter Pan flights, Pedro Pan. I don't know if you've heard of that, where 14,000 kids were sent out of Cuba and put into foster homes in America. It's well documented. Even Willie Chirino is if you've heard of Willie Chirino, he's a Pedro Pan, and yeah, our house was full on Cuban.
Nice.
My mom would make every day. There'd be a meal on the table. Before my dad would go to work. My dad was butcher by trade.
Nice.
And yeah, arroz, siempre, white rice.
White rice, steak, platanitos.
Yeah, yuca.
So growing up, because I'm curious about this for myself, because I also, I wasn't born in Cuba. I was born in New Jersey, but I was just born in New Jersey. Like they flew over while she was pregnant. So I learned English as a second language. Like that's how Cuban it is. So. So growing up as a Cuban, Latino, the whole thing, and I don't where was it that you guys were living at that time? Was it was it Miami or New Jersey? Because those are the only two options.
No, we were in Southgate, Bell, Huntington Park area. Yeah, it's Long Beach. My brother's foster parents, when when they were sent over to the U.S. and then placed in this family, they were from Long Beach, California.
Wow. Okay.
So we immediately, we flew to Miami, and then we were there for like a week, and then we flew to Long Beach and met up with my brothers.
Okay, so maybe it wasn't as challenging, but for me, it was challenging growing up Cuban and being a metalhead.
Yeah, that was challenging because we would go to these Cuban clubs, and I don't know if you guys had these little Cuban places, locations where families would go on the weekends, and there would be a family that would cook for everyone. Like Saturday and Sunday. Sometimes they would have bands come in and play in the afternoon, or matinee for the kids. Nice. And it would be a rock band. And then at night or the following week, it'll be a Cuban band playing, playing salsa or whatever. It'd be a dance. And that's where I got a lot of my, influences, watching those live bands at a young age.
Yeah, a lot of rhythm. You learn a lot about rhythm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. I don't recall anything like that over in Miami or New Jersey. It was just, to me, it was just mostly all of my Cuban friends making fun of me for wearing a Metallica shirt or something. Man, rockerito.
They used to call me un cubano arrepentido.
Arrepentido, yes, I got that one a lot.
Yeah.
Cubano arrepentido, I got that one a lot.
And my dad used to call me hippie.
Oh, a hippie, yes. Yeah.
Oye, tiene la melena.
Yeah, you got the long hair. You're a hippie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember for a quinceañera once I had to learn how to dance like real casino salsa.
Yeah.
And I took the classes and I would show up in my like metal shirts and they were always like weirded out, like, what are you doing here? I'm like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
What's the problem? Let me listen to my music.
Yeah, I was immersed in all that stuff, quinceañera, weddings, being a part of the whole entourage. And
have you been to Cuba since?
Yeah, I was back. Paula and I actually took my mom back in 2018.
Oh, nice. How was that? I mean, I know the place is falling apart. But,
it's horrible. It's so sad. But the experience was amazing. I love the people. I can tell where Cubans get. It's in our DNA. This bubbly, happy, outgoing people. Faced with so many different horrible, challenges, but yet, they seem to prevail and stay positive.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I attribute all of my, and I'm not going to say success, but just the fact that I'm still going is due to all that struggle, all of that. Hey, just keep pushing. What else are you gonna do? You want to go back to Cuba? Because that's not good. It's not good over there.
Yeah.
I went when I was very young. I said I was born in Jersey, but I went when I was like 13, and then I went again when I was like 17. And yeah, just what a wild experience to see like the power outages. Oh, it's 9 o'clock. Guess there's no more power. Like, what? As a little fat kid from New Jersey that's used to air conditioning, I was kind of blown away. Like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, have you played? No, you haven't played in Cuba.
Yes.
You played in Cuba?
Yeah, we played with Suicidal Tendencies played there.
Nice. How was that? Like, that's got to be weird.
It was crazy. We were there in January 2018, and I think Mike Muir found out we were there and decided to book a show. We booked a couple shows, and we were able to play Holguín.
Wow.
And Havana.
Wow. I'm surprised, man. I remember, my dad got arrested for listening to the Bee Gees because it was the enemy's music. So to hear that there's concerts going on is kind of like, okay, it's still bad over there, but at least they're letting some stuff happen.
Yeah. Well, even the Beatles were accepted because of John Lennon being such a, kind of, this.
Bonita. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. He was, he leaned to the left, and so I guess Castro appreciated that and became a Beatles fan.
Oh, all right. How about you, Paula? I mean, how hard was it you growing up Cuban in Canada? And I'm just kidding. But how was your
Like,
upbringing? Like, were you, was your family supportive of like listening to darker things? Were you listening to darker things, or is that something that came later?
no, Dave and I have completely different backgrounds. I was raised in a house where you would just hear Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash,
Mm.
whether it was their albums or my dad, playing the guitar and singing every morning. And so I was kind of raised around that. Just real like three chords and the truth country music. And then started to get into other things. My sister and brother had left home sort of early. So to get to know them more, because they're a bit older than me, I would go through their vinyl records and happen upon things like Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Nazareth, AC/DC, like all that kind of stuff. So my upbringing is a bit different. And then Hart came in, and that Annie Lennox, those type of people. So
Okay.
yeah, totally.
Johnny Cash makes Nashville make more sense for me.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I like Johnny Cash. Don't get me wrong, people. I'm not.
Oh no, he's outlaw. All those guys, the Highwaymen. Those guys are amazing.
Yeah, she turned me on to a lot of that I wasn't even exposed to. I wasn't exposed to country music ever.
Yeah.
That just was not in my neighborhood.
Mhm.
And so she started turning me on to all this stuff, and I found it fascinating. I thought it was brilliant, and I could see the difference now between the different styles of country music.
Yeah.
I know now the kind that I like and the kind that I don't like.
Yeah.
And
we're all outlaw over here. We don't like that bro country.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, you don't like, fat bottom girls make the whatever.
No,
Oh my God.
I wouldn't even know the names. All the things that I hear, I just can't distinguish
Yeah.
what's what anymore. So I just don't listen to it really. But always revert to the old school stuff if I'm going to listen to it at all.
Yeah.
And but what's cool also is I guess we call it a late blooming punk rocker, because when I met Dave and I was showing him the things that I liked, he started introducing me to a lot of punk bands and things like that. And I'm like, nobody ever took me down that path. And we moved a lot when I was a kid, so I never, gravitated towards certain groups of friends or anything like that. We were always moving, and so I was quite shy. So meeting Dave and getting that whole education, I'm like, I love it. I love it. It's just so my personality, the things that are said and how explosive and angry it can be. I love that so much. So
it was funny because the other day she was, for my birthday, she was cooking me a cake. Tres leche. She makes amazing tres leche you could ever
I can
have.
throw down on that.
She could really, and all my kids were over, and I had punk music on rotation in the living room, and she was listening. We were all outside. She was cooking inside, and she came up to me and said, "Man, those lyrics are great." It was something. Yeah, did you hear the song? What they were saying?
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, babe, punk is cool."
I remember it was like John Wayne was a racist.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, whoa, like mixing my three milks over here, and I'm like, what's happening?
Oh, my.
That's a great
So
story.
what was one of the first punk bands that you remember like latching onto that he showed you?
For me, oh man, God, was it DRI or I was making risotto one night and I made that and we sat down to eat and he had put on that album and I can't remember.
It had to have been Minor Threat.
Oh, okay.
Either Minor Threat or Dead Kennedys.
Nice.
Yeah.
Either Out of Step or Dead Kennedys and God We Trust.
Yeah.
One of those two. And I was getting all fired up,
Yeah.
slam dancing in our living room, and just all by myself.
Yeah.
And she saw,
fascinated.
yeah, she saw my how I reacted to this music
Yeah.
and how it made my palms sweat, and how it just charged me.
Mm-hmm.
And
then also like moving forward when Dave Dead Cross was huge for me when he started working with those guys, and I love that first album specifically. I listened to that like every day. I loved that album so much and still do. And then when he joined Suicidal, that was music that I had never really heard. So it was all new to me. And I loved going to those shows when Dave was with them as well, like singing along. That music just feels really good to me. I feel like I really could have used it in my teenage years.
Yeah.
I so used that.
we're kindred spirits in that sense. Like that music does that to me too. I mean, I grew up, the first like heavier things I heard was punk rock, and the natural, in my eyes, the natural progression is like a metal thrash because it's the same fast kind of beat, the kick snare, kick snare, kick snare as fast as possible. And I always said that, if my heart beat to a rhythm, it's the thrash beat rhythm or the punk rock rhythm. But then my doctor told me it was just my high cholesterol. So man, and you're bringing all that up. I remember I last year went to No Values, and Dillinger Escape Plan was playing. And they have Ben plays with Suicidal as well, but they brought out Jello to do California Uber Alles. It was kind of like a shocking moment for me. Like I never ever envisioned standing in front of this situation where it was Dillinger playing with Jello, and then also Mike came on and did a song with them as well. So it's all runs through. Like, what do you think that is? Because not everybody is into punk and metal. They should be. I feel like especially with what's going on in the world and politics and all this stuff, like that anger that everybody feels is best expressed through metal. So or punk,
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think it is about us, our type of people, that we can gravitate to that, but other people don't?
I think maybe we're a little sensitive to that style of music, and we feel it a little more than other people do. They don't, so maybe other people just don't understand it. They just don't get it.
I think it's scary because it sounds angry, right? So, like for me, I'm with lyrics. I love lyrics. I'm always any album. I like reading the lyrics and trying to really understand that message. And I feel like, especially being I'm an introvert. I'm a homebody. I'm very private. I'm not going to be somebody ever that goes online and is trying to start fights with everybody and that kind of stuff. And I feel like the music gives you an outlet, and maybe they say something more aggressively than I feel like I can, and it's empowering. It's very empowering.
And you feel, after you listen to it, you feel relieved.
Yeah.
You feel like, you orgasmed. And it's like, oh God, that was great.
Most of the time you're sweating afterwards too, So how are you feeling physically, Dave? I mean, I don't know how you do it. Like you're a machine, but how are you feeling at this age, playing crazy fast, and how do you keep it up? Like, what are some of your rituals or workout or like diet or like what are you doing? Teach us the fountain of youth, please.
I take vitamins every day.
Okay.
I've been taking them ever since I was a kid. My mom used to put a little Flintstone vitamin on right next to my my breakfast. Drink a lot of water.
That's helpful. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I feel great. My last tour was in July. What is harmful to me is being idle. That is death. If like pandemic, I felt not being out on tour, and not just touring, not just being on stage. It's waking up at odd hours, getting on a plane, getting to the next city, jumping in a cab, going to the venue, doing sound check, take a nap, wake up, do the show, stay up until 2 or 3 in the morning, and then try to go to sleep, and then wake up at an odd hour. Mm-hmm. Or like during these Suicidal tours, when we would go to South America, I would text her, babe, I have to sleep. I have 15 minutes before I got to get in a cab and go to the airport. So I'm going to crash for like 15, 20 minutes and then, start going again. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what it is.
I feel that though. Being idle sucks, man. Like whenever I have a day off, I don't. I'll sit in the couch for like 5 minutes and I'm like, all right, clean the house. Like, got to do something because otherwise you get lazy.
Yeah. I I mean, she taught me how to really just learn how to breathe and rest, you know, which is really cool because it was something that I never had. You know, it was always go, 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 go. And so she taught me like, okay, Dave, you don't have to, you have nothing to do, you know, but still there's something inside me that, you know, I don't know, maybe it was our parents, you know, our parents that had to hustle,
Yeah.
you know, that had, you know, a language barrier or, you know, whatever it was. And, you know, they just had to hustle. I don't know what it is, but I'm very fortunate. I feel really good. I feel healthy. The big thing is I don't have any issues with my joints, my arms, my legs. So everything so far is working great. And I'm inspired by, you know, the legends, my legends, which are, you know, the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger. He's still going.
That's crazy.
And I love it.
Yeah.
You know, they put out an album when I was born.
That's
You know?
nuts.
So and they were 20 at the time, so now they're obviously 80 years old, and you know, it just blows me away. So I don't see myself ever stopping playing hardcore music just because I play in Venamoris and create Venamoris music. I still love hardcore music. So for fans out there, you know, they say, "Oh,
you're slowing down.
He's wasting his time on this shit." You know, what is he doing this for? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah, it's like, you know, check out 40 fucking albums I've recorded, fucktard.
Oh my God.
You know, don't get me started.
I'll censor it.
Man.
Don't worry about it.
And let me do what I want.
Yeah.
You know, jeez, can I have some balance here?
Yeah.
You know?
Metalheads are the most elitist. It's the worst. They're so like, oh, they're singing in this. Why?
Yeah.
I think the album is great. I listened to, well, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't heard the whole album. I heard the songs that are available on the Bandcamp. Those 4 songs, I believe, were all great. Like I said, I was going in expecting to be depressed because like I saw the Chelsea Wolf name. I'm like, oh no, here goes. I'm gonna be sad. But no, I felt good. It felt like I said, it felt carnal, like kind of sexy, sexual, lusty, but like dark and like all the good things that I enjoy. So I highly recommend, you know, grow up fans and listen to some sexy music that Dave and Paul are putting together. Pick up the album. Whitty bought the vinyl. He pre-ordered the vinyl. I'm gonna go do that next because I was listening to it right before we talked. So now I'm gonna buy it.
Oh, nice. Thank
But
you.
yes, pre-order the vinyl. It's available there. If you guys were to actually do the tour, who would you want to tour with, Paula? What bands would you want to be on tour with?
Oh man.
Oh, geez. Oh, where do I even start with that one?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure. Like, I obviously love Beth Gibbons from Portishead. She's out working her new solo album. That would be pretty cool, you know.
That's a better comparison to me than like a Chelsea Wolf or whatever. Like I think more Portishead for sure.
Yeah. An odd thing, just because like when Dave and I first met, he introduced me to Portishead and he introduced me to Jucifer. And I don't think the styles are anywhere near, but how cool would that be just to share a stage with another like husband and wife that are out there just kicking ass and they're just so intense and kind all at the same time, you know. So
yeah, they were actually a real big influence because on their records they have the hardcore songs, but tucked in between the songs are these amazing vocal female vocal melody, you know, songs that they created, and they were great. I played a lot of them for her, and they were introduced to me by Slayer's record producer during the recording of World Painted Blood. You know, so it's interesting, you know, because everybody always shares new music. You know,
Yeah, definitely important, people, especially you that are complaining about this project online or anything.
We
Listen
get
to
a
other
lot,
things.
you know,
Yes.
there's,
No,
there's a lot of kindness.
There's a lot of, people
Yeah.
have been really supportive.
Yes.
That's good.
It's that one or two troll.
The loudest, what is it? The squeakiest wheel gets the oil or whatever.
Yeah, no. Those squeaky wheels don't get any attention.
Good.
From me.
Good. Do you look at like, are you on social media? Are you partaking into the algorithm?
When I want to abuse myself, when I don't feel,
I'm feeling too good today.
I'm feeling good today. I want to bring myself down. Let me read comments.
I'll say a funny story though. Like, when you think about how much work goes into an album, right? So any album that Dave has done, I think around the Dead Cross time, here comes this amazing album, Mike Patton on it, Justin Pearson, Mike Crane, just like brilliant. Such a great album. And there was some love, on the post saying like, hey, this is what we're doing. This is coming out. But I believe it was at that time that Dave accidentally posted the letter H. And that letter got so much interaction, like so many likes, so many questions. What does he mean? What is happening?
Yeah.
Compared to like an album that took however many months to come together, but really a long time for the project to really form by so many crazy things in the world. And so for a pocket post, so to speak, against something that you put so much love and time and attention and hardcore playing in, it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So that I feel can be a little disheartening because it's like, wow, why not the music? Like, why the H?
People like the mystery. Is like, what does he mean?
Yeah.
What does he mean?
So I think algorithms are tricky, and I think I can't read comments. I tell Dave just if you want to tell me something positive, that's great, but I can't do it.
Yeah. It's only when I'm feeling sadistic and I just want to beat myself up. I'll go ahead and.
I feel like I need to have a bad day today.
Yeah, it's rough. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I haven't figured it out. I've had guests on the show that I feel bad for because I'm like, man, you deserve more. People commenting and praising you, and here we are. They're like, no, but I posted a picture of me. It was just a bottle of beer that I was sharing with Braun from Macedon. And before this, I was crafting my posts, hashtags and, who am I tagging and, how does it look? And this one, I just kind of posted the picture and I just put beer. That's all I put. Don't tag anybody, no hashtags. It got more engagement than anything I've ever posted. Like, what? So all that hashtags and all that's nonsense. None of that's real.
Maybe it's teaching us not to take it all so seriously.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, because I tell Paula, because generally we don't read any comments. Mm-hmm. And, I tell her, well, or even pay attention to any of the likes. Because back in the day, back in the day, we had to go to the market or grocery store, wherever you got your magazines, your rock magazines, your metal maniac or whatever magazines or Circus or Hit Parader, and you just read the article and then you put it back. That's it. And you go home, you go on your way, and you continue to create. And you go to band practice or whatever. Hey, check it. Did you see the magazine? Yeah, great article. That's it. There were no comments. There wasn't that shit. Yeah. And so, today, that's the way you have to be. If you want to read, a review or whatever, just read it and put it away. That's it.
Yeah. It's a double-edged sword for a lot of people because you have to promote, you have to use it, but also, it fills you with self-doubt and low self-esteem and all the other things. So you have to fight it. It's nuts. And, you hear people like, oh, mental health crisis in America. Yeah, I would have to guess it's probably because of social media.
Absolutely.
Because we get bombarded with either negativity or too much positivity, to where you get a weird false sense of
success.
And now you think you're like, you can walk into a restaurant like, oh, well, put me in a nice table. Like, who are you again?
Exactly.
Hey, I got 25 likes, man.
Yeah, come on, man. Look at all this movement. Like, anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. I was told 30 minutes and we went 55. So I'm sorry if you had somebody else lined up.
Dave does, yeah.
Yeah, I got another one.
I'm sorry, my bad.
No worries.
It's just a great conversation. I've been wanting to talk to you for years, like I said, and hopefully we'll do it again.
Yeah, man. Hit me up.
Everybody who is watching, please listen to Venamoris. It's awesome. Go pick up the album, and you have social media, yes, for this?
Oh yeah.
Where do they go leave negative comments? No, I'm just kidding.
The easiest way to find it is to go to Dave's page on Instagram.
Or Facebook.
Yeah, or Facebook. Ipecac Recordings, and of course Venamoris.
And Venamoris Music on Instagram.
Yes, awesome. Please go follow, pick up the album, not just because I'm telling you, but because it's good. Dave, Paula, thank you so much for your time. It's been awesome, and hopefully we can have a cafecito someday together.
Hell yeah, man.
That'd be
awesome.
Right. Have a good rest of your week.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. See ya.